Yeah, I did not want to be a Christian. I didn't care for Christians at all. And I had been initiated into transcendental meditation at UCLA in Los Angeles, so I kind of felt like a cut above other people spiritually. And I had worked really hard to get that still small voice inside that kept saying, "Ron, you're wrong," to get it quieted. And I had finally succeeded. It didn't bother me anymore. And then my 3 nieces and my sister found the Lord at a coffee house ministry in La Habra, California, called The Vine. And I just went, oh no. So they began to witness to me, and I have to just back up the story a little bit, because just before that, something happened that was really noteworthy. I had collected books on witchcraft and had finally found the one that was the How to Do This book. And I took it. I lived in the worst area of Los Angeles. I lived in Venice Beach, California, which is like the drug capital, the weird capital of LA. And I took the book down to the beach one night and drew the proper symbols in the sand and stepped into it and demanded power. And I don't know what I was expecting, but a voice from the darkness toward the beach said to me, "I'll give you power, but I want your soul." And I stood there stunned because of actually hearing a voice. And then I paused for a minute because I thought, I'm not stupid. I read Mephistopheles, so I know what the end of that story is. I was just standing there, just thinking this all through, and then I heard a voice from behind me go, "Where do you know Satan from?" And there's nobody behind me. It's the water. It's the rolling waves of the ocean, and nobody back there. And so I'm standing there with these 2 voices in contrast to each other. And the voice said again, "Where do you know Satan from?" And so the only thing that I could answer honestly was, well, from the Bible. And the voice said, "Well, why would you join the losing team?" So I just rubbed the symbols out of the sand, threw the book, and headed back to my apartment. I think it was the following weekend that my sister invited me to her house for a birthday party. And my nieces talked me into going with them to this Jesus People coffee house in La Habra, California called The Vine. And there was no way I could get out of it. I tried, and so I thought, well, I'll go with them, but I'll act just like them so they won't know that I'm not a Christian and they won't witness to me. So my niece, I love her with all of my heart, and I'll do anything she asks me to do, so she dragged me right down to the front. This was in a little storefront, and they had carpet squares on the ground, so everybody just sat on the floor. And they started off with a lot of nice music, and then halfway through, before someone got up to teach, they would all stand up and put their arms around each other and sing the Lord's Prayer. So they'd rock back and forth singing the Lord's Prayer, and I thought, well, I know the words to this, so I can sing along with them, and then nobody will know that I'm not a believer. And we got to the part in the Lord's Prayer where it says, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever." And it was just like, I don't know exactly what happened, but it was like God picked me up, and I was in the darkness of outer space, and I heard God's voice say, "The words that are coming out of your mouth right now are true, and would you like to be part of that kingdom?" And I just broke. I mean, I didn't even know what was happening to me. I had no intention of being emotional about Christianity, but I was weeping and weeping and weeping and weeping, and two young people came up to me and said, "Come in the back room, the Lord wants to baptize you in the Holy Spirit." And I'm going, "What is that?" So they took me back there and put me down on my knees on the floor and began to pray for me. And they said, "The Lord wants to give you a whole new language to worship Him with." And it just came out. I mean, it just flowed out of me just instantaneously. So I had no intention of becoming a Christian. And I later found out that a lot of the kids had been praying and fasting for me for almost a week until that night. So they knew when I came in. Nobody was confused about who I was. Nobody, I think they all thought, yeah, he's trying to pretend to be a Christian so we won't know, but they all did know. So when I began weeping, they're all going, "Oh, look, he's getting saved." So it was just a sovereign act of God to drag me out of the kingdom of darkness and put me in the kingdom of light. So I think it wasn't probably much more than a month that I enrolled in Bible school. I knew I had to either do something 100% or that I probably wouldn't stick in my faith. So it's been 41 years now. So, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. So that's the salvation.